All right, guys, we're talking about episode 6 of The Umbrella Academy.
Yo, do you think that we should talk about the ending or how it ends first?
We
and
can.
then backwards, because everything that I say is going to be in the context of a lot of this didn't really happen, which is crazy.
Yes. No, and that is very interesting. So, yes, we'll start off. Everything that happens in this episode gets washed by the fact that 5 blows up, kills everybody, and goes back in time to the moment when they were first saying, well, what do we have different this time?
The start of that day.
And they say 5, but they didn't have 5 at that moment, but they do have 5 now.
Okay.
So let
me quickly say 2 things.
Yes.
One, I heard chatter somewhere. Someone said, like, hey, Umbrella Academy seemed pretty cool, but I just watched episode 6 and I'm out, or whatever. And I had that in my head for this whole time. I heard that, and we were on episode like 2 or 3. So I had this in the back of my mind. I'm like, what could possibly happen in like any of these episodes that would make someone be like, never mind, I'm not going to finish the season. And now seeing it, I'm like, what the hell is wrong with people? What's going on?
If anything, I loved everything.
Yeah, I was like, what
this
is going
got
on?
me totally doubled down. I actually really wondered how they did this in the comic.
Okay.
Because it seemed like...
It felt like a comic thing to me.
No, but it felt very easy and approachable and to visually demonstrate everything that's happening through movement.
With like the
and
rewinding
like,
effect and all
how
that
did they
stuff.
exactly get that? Like, I wonder...
Yeah, because you can't.
It could have just been a big panel and conversation.
Like they weren't gonna do like you can't physically rewind it, which I feel like is like the cinematic
yes.
language that they use.
No, it applies itself to video.
It feels like everything's unwinding. Like that branch of time is like shriveling and dying, and then you're starting over here. It has a really good vibe to it. Part 2, the like flip side though, is I'm a caveman with a caveman brain, and I'm gonna have a lot of trouble now because what we do when we watch shows like this is we like make predictions and we cite like examples and evidence of stuff, right? So now for the next 4 episodes, I'm gonna be like, oh wait, that didn't happen though, or something like that. It's gonna keep I'm gonna keep getting caught by stuff or something like.
No,
you know?
it is an interesting thing, and it will be difficult to be like, was that pre or post?
Was that a thing?
Because a lot of things happened in this episode.
Well, and
that didn't happen.
And part of it is because part of it's good, and I agree. I did like the whole thing or whatever. Part of it's good because it's like you figuring out like information for the audience to have, right? Or teasing it and not giving it to us. But part of it's bad. Where now I'm like, wait, but they didn't actually talk. They never kissed. They didn't do that. He doesn't know this. All that, right? So like. It helps develop the characters to know what they would do in a given situation.
Yes.
But it doesn't help me now in the next episode to be like, why does she trust him? Doesn't she know this? Oh no, wait a minute, or whatever, right? And I've just given all my thoughts about the whole episode without saying what I'm talking about. So
I had
written
written in a note earlier. That I was like I call her V in my notes because what's her name? Vanya.
It's Vanya.
Vanya is a name that doesn't exist in my like Rolodex of names.
Yeah.
So I can't.
You have a mental
so
block.
I just say V. So I was like, V is Jean Grey, and that was like a thing I had. And then as this episode unfolded, I was like, I'm totally right, and like she is. Like,
how so? What does that mean?
And my thought is, she got like she's like the Dark Phoenix version of Jean Grey.
Oh, okay.
Where I'm like, okay, she's like super powerful. She's too powerful, so they had to put mental blocks on her. I'm like, yep, those are the pills. Okay, she's got this. It is a thing.
For some reason, I was thinking of Rogue, and I'm like, whose powers is she stealing? What the hell are you talking about? You think that guy fucked telekinesis into her? That's just rude. Okay, Jean, yes, of course.
Yes. So I'm like, that's super cool. I love that. It really like puts the punctuation on the statement of you're normal, you're just like you have nothing, and like leaving her alone because not leaving money or trigger anything. And the more paranoia you can instill in her and like unconfident like nature is the more likelihood she will stay on these pills that are mood enhancers or whatever she thinks they are.
Yeah, for her anxiety or something like that. No, and that's I thought that was fairly obvious. I thought that was the whole point of this whole thing.
Yes.
She was like excluded. The father probably sowed seeds of like, don't talk to Vanya, she sucks. And we see him like outright saying, "There's just nothing special about you," and like slapping her around and all that stuff. So it's like, yeah. And now that she's off the pills, the crazy part is, okay, so I guess because I don't know the name of her love interest guy. Let's
call him the guy I think has a glass eye.
Oh, I just call him the creeper in my whole business here. But yes. I guess that could be his eye.
I'm picturing that my prediction as of right now is the glass eye is his. He is like the fucking guy who's putting the flame on, and he's gonna make V explode the world, and something's gonna happen, and she's actually the one that is like responsible one way or the other for this all happening.
Yeah, because we see more of the power. She like bends the street lights, and the cars get all messed up and all that stuff. So he has the notebook, so he knows about her powers, and he's intentionally doing something to get the whole thing to happen.
That would be my thought. Yeah,
that makes sense.
So I'm interested. I wonder exactly why and what and how.
I know, right? Like, what is his origins? How does
he
know about it?
My thought early on was he's one of the 42, and I'm like, well, what exactly is his power? Why is this? What is making him want to do this? Well, like, why is he? What's his motivation?
I know, right? Because ending the world seems like a bad thing.
Yeah. Or is he not actually trying to do that, but it just happens?
Something goes wrong?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Think
probably...
about how many people have messed with technology and stuff they can't understand.
No, yeah. That's probably more like it, where he has plans, but
that's what happened to the Mayans. Just saying.
Yeah, those plans go wrong, and then she accidentally does something. Because we don't see her body in the mansion, right? We just see the 4 of them.
I don't believe we see her body.
Diego, Klaus, Allison, and Luther, right?
I think so.
Ben's already dead. Vanya and 5 is there to see. He doesn't see himself.
Yeah. I wonder. I would have liked 5 to have gone back even further than he did go back when he did the reset, because I think it would have made more sense if he could have gone back before he picked up the mannequin, to not have picked up the mannequin, so that he could have actually ever wanted the mannequin in the first place.
Okay.
I have time issues.
You wanna close that loop? You feel like that's a problem?
A little bit. It's a problem. Is it not a problem for you? Does it not?
I don't really
does it not keep you awake at night?
No, time travel never makes sense in things, so I just accept whatever they tell me.
I need it to make sense.
It never does, so you're never gonna be happy.
Some things do.
It can make enough sense to make you happy, but it's still not gonna make enough sense to make me happy. So I just ignore it and I say it's fine.
It's sickening.
Yeah. So, but the cool part is that whatever 5 did really happened.
Yes.
And you were seeing stuff 5 had already done take effect, and then seeing other and then he traveled back to before then, so that he hadn't done that stuff or something. That's an example of something that doesn't make sense. We'll leave this all alone. It's fine. It's completely fine. He sent messages to them that he still should have sent.
Yes.
What's going on? Don't worry about it. Again,
no, the whole thing is interesting. So it seemed like it was just a for fun thing, like to scratch an itch. Because if he's already going back in time, nothing that happened later in time is going to happen because he's not going to actually go back in time. Or does time get broken because they're outside of time somehow in the 50s?
I don't know how it works.
Because he did blow up their ability to time travel. He did kill people. He broke their tube system.
Yeah.
But if he did that in the future and then goes back to before he did that, did he actually do that? Or again, was it just a scratch and itch like, well, fuck these fucks. I want to do some shit.
Yeah, I have literally no idea. And like, is that the real reason why Hazel and Cha-Cha are after him? Because he destroyed that facility in the 50s? I don't know. Don't even think about it.
I just think it was because he went rogue at the JFK assassination.
Yeah, but they just remember that from then. But then shouldn't changes in the past affect them? Like you're saying, do they exist outside of time? Does that still work when they're on a mission? Does that only work if they have their briefcase?
Were sent after that. So I think he did the JFK thing. He went rogue, and they said we got to clean up a mess, and then sent them.
Right.
So his time travel wouldn't have affected that mission. But
but they are in the future that happens after all this, including him destroying that facility and all that stuff. So Hazel and Cha-Cha
they would have been sent before that.
No, but it happened after that in like real time. It happened in like the 50s. There's a famous story for them in the year 22. Time travel never makes sense. Never think about time travel in shows.
Well, I'm thinking that they're outside of time. Because they're time police.
Because of their briefcase that they don't have anymore?
She said something about being in their own whatever. Because how else do they even know?
In their thing, sure.
Yeah.
It makes no sense, that's how.
No, like that part didn't bother me. The time period of where they are exploded didn't bother me as much as the constant of time of when that would have happened.
Yep, they never explain it because it's too complicated and it wouldn't make sense. And it wouldn't be fun if you tried to make it realistic. So people usually just say, this.
Well, you can't make something that's not happening realistic.
No, I mean, like, if you make it consistent and logical and everything, right? So, like, people usually just make it fun. They usually just say, okay.
No, and it is fun.
Yeah.
I do want to know more about the facility and stuff like that, and I'm wondering if there's going to be a loop stuff of here happening, or if, like, are we done with them?
I don't know. So, like, last episode I said, like, what are we going to do now? We can't just show 5, like, at work. And we totally showed 5 at work, and it was great. I was so happy. That stupid stuff where it's all like bureaucratic and all that stuff.
I actually loved that stuff about like oh we kill this guy and his son doesn't wash his hands. Like the whole like mapping out time problems is awesome. But I'm like, what are they looking at to do that? Like.
Okay,
is he just thinking really hard?
That's what I'm saying, right? Is like this is the kind of thing that like couldn't make sense. It's the kind of stuff that
they're
people
in
say
some
in movies.
all-seeing eye thing, but they don't even use the internet or some proxy internet. They're on typewriters. You're like, all right, that's weird.
But that's the thing is like this is the kind of like it's like the acorn line. It's like, well, that doesn't make sense to you because your brain's not developed enough or whatever, right? They have to just explain it away, and like things would be crazy, right? If you time traveled from the the year 700 right now would be crazy to you, and you wouldn't understand things that are happening. But because we don't understand them, we can't possibly even think about how they are doing it or what they are doing. When it's like writing on the wall and it's like I've narrowed down to to these names. You're like, where's he getting the list of names from? How does he know what's going on? How does he doing this? I don't know. It's best to just not even go there. It's too painful.
Got to kill them all.
They have co-ed bathrooms, and it's all awkward.
Yes,
she's in there
that particular scene was interesting.
That was so weird.
I do like it getting explained with the liquid diet and vegetables and crap and whatever, but it was just a very awkward. Where I'm like, we're playing battleships now. Like, what's happening?
Battleships. It's a little flavor like that. Like you said, the typewriters, the like flustered guy who's been working on some other. What was he working on? Some problem or something
bullshit.
like that.
When she looks over the stall though at him, I'm like, what is this? What are we dealing with now? Like, what the fuck?
And even though he is like a 60-whatever-year-old man, he's in the body of a child. So if there's any overtones,
even if he's not, though, like he was fully dressed, and she saw that. So she'd be like, "Why are you fully dressed sitting on the toilet?"
I had the same thought.
And B, if he wasn't, what the fuck?
What are you going for there, lady? Like, no, it's weird. But I kind of even like stuff like that because it implies like you would expect that like the social conventions are different. Doctor Who does this kind of stuff sometimes.
Yeah, if you're that far in advance, it's like,
weird.
no, we're humans, all of us, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, or like little stuff, or like having Gloria send all the tubes is like, listen, she's this close to retirement. It's this like dumb thing where you're like, that shouldn't be what's important here, right? Has this like irreverent, wacky, timey-wimey sort of attitude. But that whole thing was great. The whole like tour, her suspicion, the callbacks to the old grenades and all that business.
Yeah.
At a certain point during their like fight,
I was live grenades in her office at all times.
At a certain point during the whole thing, I'm like, oh yeah, he can teleport. Like this is easy. What are we talking about? Why is this? Why is this a problem
he does only have so many.
I know, but it's
and they do address that a little bit more in this one.
She just says even you have a limit, and then he does whatever he wants. So I'm like, yeah, we addressed it, I guess. But yes.
But potentially he only had one or two more in him.
I don't know how it works.
Because he had to use the briefcase to time travel, which I'm like, yep, that makes sense. Because he's not awesome at that.
Exactly. And you see him like turning dials and stuff, like he's doing stuff. Yeah.
So now they have the briefcase that Hazel and Cha-Cha are looking for at that time before it's been smashed yet. No, it's been smashed already. Wait, no. Wait, did he already? Yeah, he's already.
Oh no! Klaus is back.
Klaus is already in that scene when they traveled back.
The actual lost time is like very small. It's like that day.
No, but I couldn't remember. Well, yes, it is one day, but also Klaus only gone for like one day, but it was 6 months, and I was like, wait, that already did happen? Yeah.
Yeah. He's come back, smashed it, and now he's chilling, or whatever. So let's talk about the day.
Sure.
Let's talk about what happens. Klaus is a great place to start.
Yeah, we get to see Klaus and his stuff.
And his gay lover.
He's trying to break his habit. So
like in the present day, it's great, right? We got all this character development, more stuff with like Diego and Klaus being bros and everything, him tying him up and all that business.
Yeah,
I liked all that stuff. It was
he ties him up so legitimately the first time. The second time he's like, fuck it. And he's like wrapped him once and through the rope. He's like, you're good, whatever.
You're fine. You'll just go with this or something
puke in
like
this.
That.
You're good.
Even the development of like him then bargaining, like, I just need one more dose just to like ease me into it. No, that's fine. And then
did he punch him in the stomach or the nuts?
I don't know.
Because either way, it's funny. But I was like, I think he just nutshotted him.
Yeah, like what makes you happier? The nuts?
It's hard to say.
I think it's the nuts.
I'm really impressed by Klaus's acting. Yeah, he's like I've liked him in a lot of things, but like he just seemed to act. I'm like he's not even American. Like it's so good.
Yeah, I think he's acting a lot, but I think that I also like it. I think it's also good. Like it's like that's the kind of thing where it's like you're doing a lot of this or whatever, and you could say like, he's just doing a lot of that. But like, no, like his trying to reason with Diego. Like I'm into like the addiction stuff or whatever.
Sure.
So like him trying to reason with him of like I just need one more dose, and then his realization, his like panic of like oh he's not going for it or whatever. His like transition during that conversation is really good. I was like, I'm really into this. And I think, does he start insulting him? What does he do? He turns.
He tries to force his way out, and that doesn't work because Diego's the physical one, which again makes you think, what did Klaus do on the team?
I know. Yeah, I know, yeah. So, like, I think it would have been really cheap in retrospect, but also, like, fittingly, if it's a 90s comic, for Klaus to come back and be, like, a badass Marine or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, that, too. We find out that, like, he, like, time travels and, like, also space travels directly into Vietnam.
Yeah.
So that gets rid of all of my concerns of, like, how do you go back and then get drafted? Like, why would Klaus go somewhere or whatever? And then we thought, oh, he probably fell in love with the dude and they went together. But then it's like, no, he just showed up, like, in the camp. And they were like, get this soldier a gun and a uniform and all that stuff. And I'm like, damn. And the death scene, like you said, the acting part, all that stuff, right?
Yeah, no,
good stuff.
It's great. I love he's like, Christ on a cracker. That was a close. Oh, it's dead. Oh, God.
I know. I love that his Dave, I think his name is, his dude, doesn't have any last words. Because he's just like gasping for breath and just struggling to like do stuff, which is like so much more realistic and powerful than anything that he could have like said. I thought that was really dope.
Yeah, well, especially because he got hit with some large caliber round like directly in the chest.
No, like it's realistic, but also like things like this, movies, TV could be tempted to make a whole speech.
Go on without me.
I've always loved you.
You'll
something like that or
your
something.
Purpose.
Yeah, right. Some like inspirational thing, and then Klaus cries, and then he thinks of that or something.
Try cocaine.
Do lots of drugs, Klaus. Do all the drugs you want. There was a cool part too where like Ben kind of leaves. I thought it was really interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know how that works, if he had to go to make room for Dave to find him.
I thought he went and got him.
Oh, okay.
That's how I took it.
Because they didn't show. Yeah, that could have been.
But I don't even know if he can do that.
I don't know either.
But that's how I took it.
Yeah, I don't know how it works, and I'm okay with not knowing. But the scene of like Ben, because they do like a wipe. There's like a vertical bar of the thing, and he just like disappears behind it, and I was like, oh, that like it was very striking as like a shot.
I actually really like the idea that like he's so close with Ben because Ben's his brother. He's known him his whole life, and like Ben is just perma-linked with him, so like he's always around. And I like the idea is like I want to talk to Dad, and like Ben goes and finds Dad and brings him back. I want to talk to Dad, and Ben goes and because like Ben could go anywhere as a dead person.
But bridge the gap.
I feel like they don't like that's not getting used in a cool way either, though. Where it's like Ben, where's V's been kidnapped. Where is she? And like Ben like scours the fucking city through the astral plane or something and finds somebody. Like that would be cool.
That could be a whole
or
thing.
Like Ben,
all
look
by
around
itself.
the corner. Is anybody there?
I know.
He's there. He's waiting with a gun. Don't go. Like, or shoot through the wall right and like point it at his own heart and like here, like shoot through Ben, gets to the wall, gets the guy. That'll be my thing.
There could be so like, and a lot of stuff's I think gonna be that where like part of what they're doing to you is like teasing you or showing something or demonstrating something, but then like not really, giving like when I was a kid, like you're saying, like I would see something cool, and all the cool stuff in my head would be so much cooler than whatever they could actually show you or whatever. I know that we don't always think along those lines, but I kind of appreciate it here because there's enough cool stuff in it. And it also hints at so much other cooler stuff that I feel like a kid again playing in my head with all the different ways that all this could go and all this could happen.
A lot of potential.
So I'm into it. And like the reason why people aren't doing cool stuff is because they're like broken, tortured, horrible, crying, like petty.
It stands to reason that at the
stuff.
moment Klaus is finally getting straight, like that he couldn't been doing any of the cool stuff recently because of this.
Yeah.
So maybe young Klaus in the academy was actually doing a lot of cool stuff because he wasn't strung out.
We might see that more again now.
Yeah. I do want a couple more flashbacks. We had a flashback of Luther, on his first date or whatever in the greenhouse. But I want some like fighting flashbacks, some cool stuff.
Yeah, besides just the bank robbery, right? Like, I kind of like them de-emphasizing the like typical superhero combat statistical like fighting thing, but I would like a little more of some of that stuff.
Another cool
just
thing
to
I was
fill it
thinking
in.
about for Ben, like, so if when Klaus is now clear-headed, if he can project the dead, if he can make other people see them too, Ben
wow.
could be a really fun one for that because Ben's also like a monster.
Interesting. Yeah, we don't know how much how his power works. He's also not really getting sober yet. He might do it again that day, but he might get sidetracked now and not do it. I'm like,
That's
oh
true.
no, that ruins everything for me. Last thing with those characters, Diego goes for a walk with Mom. She's about to tell him the thing,
Yeah.
and then everything.
What's his name? Pogo?
Yeah, Pogo. Oh, yeah. So that scene was really awkward, actually, where like Mom Bot is
Like
talking
pops
to
out of a
Diego.
closet in the wall.
Yeah, and he goes, and she's like, I didn't do anything.
No.
Yeah, it was a really hammy, like weird way to do that scene or something like that. But whatever. Yeah, she does the whole like your father's not here anymore. Like it seems like she's on board with like, no, I'm not going to go along with this. I'm going to do something, which is cool.
Potentially in the new timeline, he hasn't, like Mom's not even around. Maybe she dies again.
I don't know what happened. Well, so she's like up and running, but like Diego just happened to notice her because he happened to be walking at that exact moment past that like archway in the mansion. So like again, like
might not see her in the next round.
Right, there's
Or
so much.
someone else might see her.
Yeah, there's so much that could be different, which is going to keep bothering me stuff. But you talked about, Pogo. Yeah, she says, Pogo and I have been lying to you, right?
Yeah.
She literally says that. So it's not just about whatever we thought. Maybe Pogo is saying, like, just don't mention this incident that you had to get turned off and turned on.
No, and you know, Luther's not going to find the little hatchway with all the
I know
that he wasn't on the moon for a purpose. So he's going to keep proceeding thinking that he was there for a reason. Because he links to, he's like, it must have something to do with the moon.
Yeah.
Like, he's probably going to keep thinking that. There's going to be a lot of interesting things. So
I wonder
now
what they're
when
going to do.
V shows
They can't
up,
waste time with that. Yeah.
when V shows up with Creeper, 5 will be there now, right?
Yes.
That wasn't after. That's the before.
And maybe
she showed
5 looks at the Creeper and says, Harold Jenkins?
Yeah, yeah.
I hope not, because I'm like, I think they've said his name, and it's not Harry, but I don't know. I have no idea. But that would be ridiculous, right? That would
John
be the way
F. Kennedy.
Oh my God, it's John F. Kennedy's assassin.
John Wilkes Booth.
Yeah.
You're back?
Because 5's never seen the Creeper guy, right?
No. Almost none of them have until today.
Which was so weird that she like brought him with her, and then he piggybacked off the stupid
say
thing.
good news.
Yeah, sure.
I thought that in the parallel world, so 5 had the assumption that they died to save, like they all came together to stop this apocalypse. But that was before 5 had come back, because 5 jumped into the future when this had already happened. He hadn't swung back around yet. So in this scenario, when he first met all of them, the 6 of them or whatever were fighting this apocalypse because Luther died with the eye in it, right? So potentially that was in an apocalypse version 1 before 5 ever went back. You get me?
I hear you.
So
yes.
follow me on this.
I don't. Yeah.
So what if so in my head when they first said we're gonna announce that she's not chair 1 or whatever, what if they all actually came together because she invited them all to this I was gonna say piano recital, her violin recital,
Yeah.
and it had nothing to do with the apocalypse at all, and then it just happened to swing that direction. But that I think is a stretch.
I have no idea. And my complaint with time travel is usually the kind of thing you're talking about. So, like, narratively, that's how they structure it. People say stuff like, well, he hadn't gone back in time yet, or something like that, right? But there's no such thing as that. Whenever you go to a time, if you ever will go back, you already have, and then that's what's there.
I like
right?
to think of it as
like movies
separate timelines every time you do something.
Exactly, and movies don't do it that way because that wouldn't make sense. That would be really weird, and like movies that do like do it that way right can be really cool because then you can watch a scene again later and go, oh, because that guy, and it's really awesome. But it's very hard, and it doesn't make sense.
The best time travel that makes no sense is Bill and Ted
when
like they're trapped in a cell. It's like, I know, when we get out, we'll just get the key and we'll hide it here, and you're like, what? This implies that you had to have gotten out.
Let's just he says like remind me to come back here later and leave the key somewhere. Where? And he goes, oh, something like that. Yeah, it's so dumb, but it's great. Again,
but I do love that because the dad and the king is like, where are my keys?
Yeah.
It works enough.
Exactly. But that's, again, like time travel's fun, and I would never nitpick the time travel or something like that, because I consider it to be like magic. I consider it to be something you put it in your story. Try not to make it too inconsistent or weird or whatever, right? Because even like Doctor Who, it's like when something fucks up, just go back to 5 minutes before you first got there and say, don't do this or whatever. But Doctor Who says, well, that's going to mess up the thing and the paradox, and he has a whole stupid thing.
Yeah, we are in time that is constant and some bullshit.
Yes,
whatever.
Exactly. Right, but it's just bullshit. It's just stuff you say because you have to avoid the audience saying, why don't you just do this? Right? Just like with magic. We'll just cast another spell. Like, what are you talking about? Oh, the magical things conflict. Okay, whatever. Fine.
Yeah.
Just
it is
interesting.
It is an interesting enough the story that like I can look past a lot of the stuff, but but it's my mind running after the episode that goes, well, why didn't this happen? Type of stuff. During it though, I'm totally into it.
Yeah, it's very and again, like that's I like intentionally choose not to nitpick it because I would just be nitpicking all day, which I would love to do. But I choose not to.
Have we left out any?
Okay, young Luther and Allison, present day Luther and Allison. There's this really weird dance scene that they have.
I like that dancing is the thing that the show does. Like I thought it was charming.
I liked it too.
I didn't like that version of the song as much.
I forget what song was playing.
I don't remember either at the moment.
But it was like
it was a cover.
It was like
a
weird
song.
cover of a song.
And like every song that we've heard like so far throughout like fight scenes and dance scenes and whatever have all been like I'm like that is the perfect song for this scene. You've done it.
Right.
But that was the first time when I was like, oh, that's less than ideal. And I wonder, is it a cover because they couldn't clear the real one?
Yeah,
like,
was it something like Dancing in the Moonlight or whatever?
I think so.
But like not this. There's like another song where they say Dancing in the Moonlight, but that wasn't the one or something. It was some weird thing for me too. I agree, but like the transition, the shot, the lighting, how he's not a monster, and they're both decked out, and then they're dancing and all that stuff, and then it cuts back to just them like sharing a kiss, right?
I want it to be always. I don't think you're up to date, and not that this is even a current episode of Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
No.
There's one where like they're doing a dance, like they're like all right, we've got to convince they're like their school reunion, we got to convince them through dance, and like it's this amazing dance with like the lighting is perfect and like all their moves are fantastic.
I think I've seen gifs of this.
And then it cuts to what's really happening.
Yeah.
And I wanted that to be like in this, where like it cuts and he's just a big guy and they're just kind of rocking back and forth.
Right.
And I was like, that would be charming. Like
like
how this is playing out in his head. Like this is what I wanted. If this would have happened 20 years ago, like she would have married me. Like
yes, like that's what I talk about when I talk about like liking pretentious stuff or whatever. Because that was whoever made this. They're like, we need you to feel a certain way, so we're going to show you certain images and play certain sounds that will create something in your head that I want to be there without just directly showing you or like directly saying it.
Yeah.
Right? It's like a symbolic or whatever you want to call it thing. I love it so much. I thought you might be like, that was stupid. I don't know.
It's
I liked it a lot. They pulled it off.
It's very lighthearted and fun. So like, there's not much to really dislike about it, unless you're just like, I want only blood and action. I can't have any dancing.
Yeah,
but this show is fun and lighthearted. It's as much comedy as it is action.
This is one of the main things that has been like not real or not traceable back. This is someone thinking of like a fake thing and then us being shown it in a way, right?
Yeah.
Because even what's the closest example? Even some stuff with like Klaus, like he can see dead people, so it isn't like
it's not fake. It's not actually happening for him.
Yeah, right. So it's they do stuff with like perspective, but this is like metaphorical, which I like, but again, like not everyone likes. We talk about so something else that doesn't happen. We get to see the book.
Yes.
And it is whatever Robert Hargraves's notepad or something like that, and it flips to like number 7, and she finds out, but then obviously doesn't happen. Right? Yeah. I think that was the point where I was like, oh no, like none of this happened. And I'm like, okay, no, that's good that didn't happen, because now not only do we know, because think about doing this worse. Creeper guy is just reading the book. For some reason, he has to read it again. Like, I don't know, because we have to show the audience what's in the book.
Yeah.
And then now we know what's in the book, but then Vanya does it, and it's like, okay, whatever.
Now, the only way to actually read from the book would be, like, much later, where, like, he's doing his like maniacal fucking monologue where he's like, and look at this on October 2nd, 1932, when he tells us.
Don't you see, Vanya? It's been like this the whole time. Look, don't believe me, believe your father. And it's this dumb thing, right?
Yeah.
But here we got to see the look on her face when she sees the book, and then it didn't really happen, right? So it's a neat way.
And it's a combo because you're finding
out
out about yourself and you're finding out this creeper guy you're with is a fucking creeper guy.
Oh yeah, because he just went to go throw some stuff in the laundry, and now you're trapped there in your pajamas with someone who like you can't trust, who has motives you don't know or understand about, right? It's super creepy. Yep. It's super dope. But now we as the audience
thought she was gonna find the doll that he's like the toy he stole.
The toy.
He went back and took a picture, like a little thing of her dad.
For some reason, I didn't think that would be under the bed, but
I thought it was going to be in the pocket of
like
the coat when she went to pick it up or something.
Okay. She picked up like socks, I think, but I understand what you're saying. Like she was gonna find, like it was a scene of like you're gonna find something, right? Yeah. And it's weird that the book would be under the bed in the first place too. It makes no sense. But yeah, I like that now as the audience we get to walk around feeling that tension of like this is obviously what this is. Like we already knew, but now it's been like that or whatever. Yeah. Maybe there'll be some other stuff where she's gonna go under the bed, but it doesn't go.
Something interesting. So Hazel and Cha-Cha looks
That's my last section.
They
Wonderful.
both got the note. I like that you saw it one and then saw the other. Perfect. So you think you're like, oh no, she's gonna kill him. This is horrible. But she seemingly has second thoughts.
Can I ask you a Cuckoo Bananas question?
Go right ahead.
No, that's his line that he said. It's so amazing. Can I ask you a Cuckoo Bananas question? Why don't we just stay here? Why don't we just hang out? And then you see him with the waitress again. She's like, damn, this guy, like, it's this wonderful thing happening.
He's connected.
It's great.
I am wondering, so she takes him to the woods, like, doesn't kill him.
Are we sure or no? So I kind of assumed that they both got orders anyway, right, for the whole time. I think that's like a fair assumption. I
was thinking that some part about it got leaked back, and they knew that he let somebody go and wasn't following orders or something at first. I was like, oh, it makes sense. He should die. She's actually doing her job. He's not. He's going off like the schedule here. He's fraternizing. He's doing stuff.
He's disobeying things.
So I was like, this is solid. It makes sense.
That's what you should think. For some reason, I just assumed, if not 5, that it was something happening, but maybe his performance or something like that. But I felt like he knew and was like messing with it just because of like the dialogue that he's saying. Like, we sure are in the middle of nowhere out here, eh? And then he's doing this whole thing or something like that. But yeah, she has second thoughts. It's weird that he did like he's fiddling with something, just tying my shoe or whatever, and then you're like, what's going on here? Right? So I thought they were going to do like a stupid standoff.
I did think he would have a gun when he was tying his shoe, but that didn't happen. I like though the open the shower,
and then they come back later.
The note right there. That was pretty well done.
Yeah, pins the note up. It's like green lighting or something like that, and then it comes in and just thwacks her and all that stuff. And this was my reference to like, now we know what would happen if someone did this to them or something like that, right? Because that gets rewound as well, right? Everything gets rewound. Okay, just making sure. Because I feel like 5 still sent those notes to them, so I don't know why that would not happen. That's still going to happen whenever he sends those notes too, because he did that. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
But now, will he do that?
He did it already.
When you say he did it already, what do you mean?
Yeah, in 1955 and a half.
Again,
he did a bunch of stuff.
I think you're going to find out that stuff didn't happen then. I think you're going to find out that they exist outside of time, just in a pocket dimension that happens to be in the 50s.
Okay, but he still took certain actions, including stealing the briefcase, right?
In order to get back, yes.
So he stole the briefcase, and he still, like set off the grenade. And he still knocked out Gloria.
Those are the two ones where you're wondering if they really happened or not. So based on how that works did he travel back in time before any of that happened, or are they still dead because they exist outside of time?
If they exist outside of time, which makes it possible for anything else to work, then he did all those things. He sent those fake orders or whatever. And those should still be on their way for at whatever point during the day they get there. Yes. If they don't exist outside of time,
then nothing has happened, literally, and somehow they're just down one case or something.
And then he couldn't be there, because how did he get the case to get there? It makes no sense.
But
let's not talk
we'll
about
see what
time
happens in
travel.
the next episode. It doesn't help us to speculate on something we don't have all
No,
the ground-laid facts.
and I'm super interested. That's why I even said, like, wait, did that get rewound too? Because I was literally wondering, like, do they physically show it getting rewound? Because they show like every plot thread, I think, getting like undone or whatever. So I didn't remember Hazel and Cha-Cha in that, but I don't care. We're gonna find out together how they actually do it. It's going to be really weird to see the whole day again. I feel like
nothing would affect. So, like, honestly, if he did send them, their day ends exactly the same and nothing changes
That's
for
what I'm
their
saying.
side.
So,
So
like,
they wouldn't even pick up anywhere. They could actually pick up with her tied to a chair.
That's what I'm saying. Is like, and that would be the ultimate confusing thing, I think, for your average audience member who's just binging the show, who goes like, wait, but so Vanya doesn't know about the book, but then Hazel is tied to it. Cha-Cha is tied to a chair. Like, what's going on? So I'm a little concerned, but we're going to figure out what happens here.
Yeah.
So do you think like the whole day starts again, and because 5 is there, it just literally swerves into an entirely different direction?
100%.
So we don't.
That's how it would happen.
Well, that's how it could happen. Yes. So like literally nothing that happened will happen again, right? It'll be a whole different day.
Well, yeah, because none of them are going to go looking for answers and solutions as to what 5 might have been up to because they have 5 now. So yeah, it's going to be totally different, totally guided by 5.
Totally guided by 5.
My band name.
Guided by 5. Playing live tonight at TBGB's.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm excited to see how this goes.
Exactly. All right, guys, that was this episode of the Umbrella Academy. Let us know in the comments below what you thought about it. Don't die in a fire, and we'll see you next time.
Hello, internets. I just love watching Just Daggers. If you've enjoyed this video as much as I have, click that subscribe button. Peace out, homies.